Every year, the Great American Bike Race selects 2 children to be one of the main focal points of the event. They serve as ambassadors for the race and offer some inspiration to families who have children suffering from cerebral palsy. This morning, we're going to introduce you to one of those incredible kids. Let's meet Gabber star Elijah Purdue. He can sing. He can dance.
You want me to show him how I do some monkey movements?
And like most 9-year-old boys, he's got a slew of jokes up his sleeve.
What did say when the monkey ate bananas?
However, what makes Elijah Purdue a little different from other kids is that he suffers from cerebral palsy.
Kind of a surprise.
And what a surprise it was. After Elijah was born, he spent 4 months in the NICU, basically just trying to survive.
He was on oxygen until he was 8 months old. Had some vision issues with his retinas and stuff. So he had his first surgery at 2.5 months and his second one at 3 months while he was in the NICU still.
But when you've got a personality that can light up a whole room,
Thank you for this microphone.
along with some good manners to boot, it makes it easier on everyone trying to make a dark situation a little bit better.
When we have new doctor appointments and I tell him about him, he says, "Oh, I get to make new nurse friends."
And speaking of doctor appointments,
1, 2, 3, stop.
Elijah comes to therapy a couple times a week.
We're really working a lot on his ability to control how he gets up and down from a seated position to standing on his own. Stand up and get your balance.
Working towards the ultimate goal of becoming more mobile.
So when he's at home, when he's older, he can make a sandwich for himself at the counter, take a few steps over to the table.
No question, there will be some tough times ahead.
He just has taken everything in stride, every surgery, every difficulty, every challenge.
But when you've got those traits in your back pocket,
I'm gonna try again.
you've got the recipe for some success. For NBC North Dakota News, I'm Mark Charter.
You're doing great.
And you know, when you think back on the 2011 flood, it's pretty easy to forget just how many people, places, and things were affected. This morning, I'll bring you to the Dakota Zoo to show you how in just 36 hours, hundreds of animals were captured, accounted for, and evacuated to safety. When you're in charge of an entire zoo and you get word that soon your property could be under, let's say, 6 feet of water, you move pretty fast.
I made exactly one phone call to another zoo person in South Dakota. He stepped in and organized. The next morning we had 5 zoos here with stock trailers, with capture equipment, and we began evacuating the zoo animals.
Lincoln says the speed and accuracy of the animal evacuation happened because of 300+ volunteers.
I think we had about 40,000 sandbags.
The power of social media.
Put out a Facebook message, just, hey, looking for help.
And this little brown book.
My little flood Bible here, which I still have, we kept track of, okay, where are the tigers going? Where are the snow leopards going? Who has the mountain lions? That sort of thing, because it was just chaos.
The 2011 flood was expected to bring tons of water into the Dakota Zoo, but thanks to modern equipment, that water never came.
We were actually pumping about 1 million gallons of water back to the river just to keep the zoo from flooding.
The building behind me wasn't actually here in 2011, and neither was this hill. Zoo employees had to build up in order to prevent future flooding from happening. And keep in mind, the zoo evacuation couldn't have come at a worse time.
About $200,000 is what we were out in lost revenue.
Warm weather means big money for places like the Dakota Zoo, and without any animals to look at, there's no reason for people to come. But thanks to an endowment fund started by the zoo 15 years ago, some of that lost money could be recovered.
The endowment fund was able to replace that money and keep us afloat.
As season 55 gets underway at the Dakota Zoo, employees say they're even more prepared than ever before. And hopefully, an ARC won't be needed anytime soon. For NBC North Dakota News, I'm Mark Charter.